In Gravity Sketch, because you're immersed in VR, it's an amazing way to design something from sitting inside it, whether that be a car, a spaceship, or like this project, just a large mech. So this is part 1 of 3, and in this first one we're just going to look at building out and the tools to build out a basic body for the mech. We're not hugely bothered about the design of this part because the main part is what we do in the cockpit. So video 1 just gets us ready for designing in that chair and looking at what's around us and all of the things that we need to make the design work from the human's point of view, so human-centered design. Hi, I'm Glenn Southern. I'm a 3D artist based in the UK, and this is number 1 of 3 videos about a mech design that's really focused on the mech pilot. And what do I mean by that? So let me just first of all bring in some images. So in Gravity Sketch we've got the ability to bring in reference images, and these are all images that I've worked on already for this project. So we'll just bring everything in. So if you want to do this, you want to follow along, I'll make these images available. And if you look on your non-dominant hand, so the hand that you're not drawing with, and have a look here, blue button, and look for reference images, anything that's in your default folder, you'll find that it appears here, and you just drag it out like I just did, then with holding the grip and then inner grip. So grip on your dominant hand and then grip on your non-dominant hand, you can scale it. So here you can see the kind of images that I've created ready for this. So this is a sketch of a pilot over here piloting his mech, and I've broken it down into a few different ways. So this is a color-coded one, and that allows me to see how I want the arms and the leg breakdown. Excuse me. Here's both. So this is a PNG, so we've obviously got a transparent background. And then we've got the one that I want to work from mostly, which is the alpha. I'll put it up there in the air above me. Now later on we'll hopefully be able to do some co-creation with this, and I can bring in someone who can art direct me while I'm working on this, which is one of the really exciting things about working in Gravity Sketch, is that we can work together, we can co-create, collaborate, and then hopefully be able to move forward and do more things like presentations and lots of things like that in the future as we move forward and get more functionality. So I've got everything I need there now set out around me in the room. I'm not going to walk around much in this demo, but I'll try and keep my head still and show you the kind of things that I'm going to be working on. So video 1, now we've got all of our reference. All I want to do is I want to be able to make the body, because the focus of the video really is this guy, the pilot. And I want to work on, we've got models inside of Gravity Sketch that will allow me to put a character in this scene. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to use this on one layer, and I'm going to use it as a reference for me to draw a sketch. So let me show you what I mean. So let's just say that I think you'll find that all of these are on one layer. Look, so if we do a transparency, look how I can make that layer semi-transparent, and that everything that's on that layer, it is obviously transparent if I want it to be. So I'm just going to delete that one. I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to lock that layer now. So all of these images are all locked to that layer. I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to bring in another image. So I'm going to bring back that image, the transparent one, or the one with a transparent background, and that means that's on this layer now, as you will see in a moment. I'll just put it there in front of me, and then let's go back off that. So just clicking off that with my blue button, and then we can go into layers and we can make that one transparent, and it leaves the other, and it just gives me something to play within the scene that's transparent. I can move that around as needed. It's got the painted one with the pilot on it, and it's got the the one with the pilot removed here on the right hand side. and then the silhouette that's going to be the thing that really helps me. I haven't got a front scene, but I'm not massively bothered about that. And the pilot himself, he's got a set of a servo suit within. In fact, it might be good if I sit on this one here. So he's got a suit within a suit, so his arms are augmented here. So there'll be a lot of that coming on later. But what we want to do in video 1 is just block out something to use for the main robot. So that's what I'm going to basically do. So that layer, I'll just put that over there for now. And I'm going to make yet another layer. So plus it again. And now what we're going to do is we're going to sketch out with symmetry on a rough shape of the robot. So go to settings, make sure mirror is on, and we can put a stage floor on at this point if you feel you need to. So we'll put the second click, will give me a round stage floor, and let me just scale it down so you can see where I am. So now I've got a stage floor to work onto, you can see there, with mirroring on, and I've got this line here is where I will do my sketch, and then we've got this guy here. So what I could do is I could put him on this layer and put him in the middle of the world, but I don't really need to at this point, because I'm going to sketch so fast in the first iteration that it won't matter, and you'll see what I mean in a moment. In fact, I'll tell you what I will do. I will do it that way first. I'll add it to this scene so that you can see what I mean by that. So I'm going to go and get yet another one, same one again. And I could literally put him in the scene like so, on the mirror plane. And there you see I've anchored him to the mirror plane. So that's another way of doing it if you want it to, and you can snap it to the mirror plane like so. So I could sketch like that. In fact, I'll tell you what I will do. I will use that as the initial block out reference. So I'm going to now just quickly sketch roughly the shapes that I want to work with. It's on grey at the moment, so I'm going to make it go should I go black or white? Let me think. Yeah, we'll go black for the sketch lines for now. And all I want to do now is sketch out some volumes that are relevant to this reference that I've brought in. So you can see now I'm just sketching out a framework. The legs will be like so. And this is literally like I would do in any sketch tool. All I'm doing is I'm working out where everything goes just by drawing down these few sketch lines. I'm not looking for anything other than, I'm not even looking for volume really. I'm kind of putting everything in the right place. I'm just saying I want one of, a shoulder blade there. I'm going to want a bicep there. Then his arm's going to come round. So make sure I've got enough things to give me a guide of how the shape looks as you go round. So I've done these ones here just to give me an idea that it is circular like that. You can see, obviously, because if I look at it this way, I'll look down for you to show you. You can see now if I grab and push forward on my thumbstick, and I can grab big chunks of it, so I can now move it around and get the posing right if I need to. So this is going to come down here, around the back, which we've already done. And that's within a few minutes, well, not even that really, just literally a few minutes, we've got it lined up, ready to roll. Now the guy inside, I will just lay something out of where I think he's going to go. That won't matter too much until later on, but at least if I know where the chair is, then I've got a good idea. So let's take this image now. We'll reduce it down. I won't delete it this time. I'm just going to keep it there in the background. So I've got him there if I need him. It looks a little bit like the weight is the center of balance isn't quite right there. So I'm just going to change it a bit. I'm going to move these legs back a little bit, just the legs, and that'll give him a bit more of a center of balance. And I think his legs should be turned out more, which it doesn't. In fact, it does show it on this drawing here. So that's probably, it's a good indication that I was thinking correctly because I wasn't looking at the reference so much. And then from the front, he looks good there anyway. Again, we're only in sketch mode here at the moment, so we'll go on to some. Let's go on to some what we call volumes now. So like we did before, we can just go into the layers, and I could just make this layer a little bit transparent as well. Add another layer, and now I'm going to add some volume. So I'm going to go to the volume tool, and I'm going to pick a lighter colour. So let's pick, what colour is the robot? He's kind of like greys and reds, isn't he? So we'll keep it grey, but a lot lighter grey, you can see there. Okay, so what are we doing now? So what I want to do now is do what we call a blockout, and I could make more accurate shapes, but I like to do this because it's just very, very simply gives me the shapes I'm going to work with. And you can see how fast this is. I'm not taking any time at all over this. It's just pulling it out with the volume tool. We can do what's called planar volumes in a moment. You'll see, I'll show you that. But at the moment, I'm just going to bash through as fast as I can to give me the block out of this character's body. I say character, it makes, you know, it is a robot, but it is a character. So, you know, it's you could even call it a creature to some degree. You can take each piece if you want and change it. Now you see there I moved the transparent stroke. That's because I didn't lock the layer. So we'll go into this layer and lock that layer. They're all locked, so I can't touch the strokes now. See, I use multiple strokes there. So if you do make one that you like, I'll just delete it and show you again. If you make one that works for you and you want to use it again, so you take it there, fire, 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 and that's one way of doing it. Or you can just make the volume better in the first place. Just give yourself more volume like that. I should be looking at the reference now, and I'm not enough, so I must focus on looking at that reference. So that would be about there. I'm going to come around the back here. This is where the guy's going to be sitting in this shape here. This is where the robot's spine's going to be in the back of his spine. There's a nice shape here, which I remember looking at. It's like that kind of shape. Bit under here. Now let's get these arms laid down. So it's just basic shape here, then a bicep, then the ridge muscles as we would call them if it was a human character, coming down to the hand, and then we've got 1, 2, 3. I think it's just a couple of fingers on there, isn't it? Yeah, like that. So that's how quick this can be, and I've already blocked out. I'm literally minutes into this design, and I'm already feeling confident that 1, it's stuck to the ground correctly because we started off with a ground plane. 2, the volumes are looking good already. If it wasn't reading now, I wouldn't go any further. So this that I'm doing now is a new feature that was just added, which is hold down on your non-dominant hand, hold down the grip, and then you can literally just pull left and right, and that gives you a spin around the whole model, like a first-person look. Now, it's not particularly brilliant at the moment because I've got all the artwork in the middle, but you can see how useful that would be for a car, or for, you know, certainly if you want to spin around a vehicle or something. So just have a go at that when you get a minute. Now, because we're going to do stuff in the center here, what I'm going to do is just switch the color to a darker gray, and we'll probably make, let me think about this, it will be, this is now the paneling that would become the front. You can see that would be a piece that would be removed to cover over the pilot is kind of what I'm describing there. So this is the bit that would hold the pilot. Now what we can do is group that. So we'll take each of these pieces and then hit on this hand, hit the purple one, and it groups them together. So now we should have everything grouped. I think we might have picked up some white stuff there, which is not what we want. So let's take that, bring it out here, ungroup it, put the white back in, and group it again. There you go. Now it is on symmetry. I haven't baked that down yet, so it basically, what would happen is now this would have some sort of mechanism where it comes open like this for the pilot to come out, or even better, it might come something like this, and it would allow the front casing. So let me show you an example. This front casing here would be part of the steps down, maybe something like this. And this is where Gravity Sketch is in its element, because I've just designed that now completely on the fly. Didn't know that, wasn't sure I needed it, wasn't aware of it, but now that's a design idea. So if I was in here with my art director, creative director, if I was that role, then that's something that, you know, you're learning stuff on the fly there. So I do like, that's one of the things I like about Gravity Sketch, is this ability to, you know, to get those designs worked out as we are here live in the scene. So that's pretty much everything I need for video 1, really. I've got enough there now to start thinking about putting the pilot in. What I might do is flesh this out a bit more, but I'll do that as a speed ramp, because these videos aren't about this model as the robot as a model. It's about me showing you how I would work out the ergonomics for the pilot and that kind of thing. So we'll speed ramp the next bit, and I'll make this bit transparent, and we'll make some more. I don't know what the right word is. Make the robot a little bit more mechanical. Maybe that's the word. And then we'll move on to video 2 once we've got that robot done. So what I'll do is I'll do a little bit more on this, and then we'll save it, and then we'll move on to part 2, where we'll start thinking about adding the pilot, and then we'll work out, or we'll put the pilot in, and the video will be a bit shorter, video 2, and it will just get him in, and we'll finalize everything about how he's gonna sit inside the model for us to start designing the cockpit around him. And then there will be a time when we will be doing this, which is we'll be climbing into the cockpit, and we'll have a look at it from his point of view, which is quite cool at that point, because then you can pretend you're the pilot and you can see what you can see. You see now I am the pilot now, so I'm sat in the cockpit. So that's going to be that's a great way to design, is from the inside. I was a little bit high then. So there you see. If I look round now, I'm in the cockpit. So You'll see what I mean once we do that bit. So yeah, there's the first part done, and we can let's move this off, and then we'll definitely dive into getting a pilot into it next.